In the stillness of the northern wilderness, a shadow slips between the trees, eyes like embers, paws silent against the forest floor. A creature feared, admired, misunderstood, and essential. This is not just a predator. This is a family builder, a strategist, a survivor tied to the rhythm of the wild. This is the life of the wolf, the loyalty of the pack. In landscapes shaped by snow, storm, and time itself, the wolf has carved a legacy older than civilization. Its story is one of teamwork, endurance, and a bond strong enough to outlast the harshest seasons. To understand the wolf is to understand the wild, because where wolves thrive, the world stays in balance. Born into a family, deep within a sheltered den, beneath twisted roots and layers of earth, life begins. Wolf pups arrive blind, fragile, barely aware of the cold world surrounding them, but they are never alone. The pack gathers near the den, alert and ready. The alpha pair, the guiding force of the group, protects the new generation with unwavering attention. Older siblings linger nearby, eager to play, but understanding the quiet caution of their parents. Every sound is monitored, every scent examined. Because in the early days of life, vulnerability is everywhere. Here, survival is not a solo mission. It is a shared responsibility, a promise carried by every wolf in the pack, learning the way of the wild. As the weeks pass, the den becomes a realm of discovery. Tiny paws stumble through moss and soil. Little growls turn into playful nips. And lessons begin, not with words, but through experience. This is where teamwork is learned, where loyalty takes its first breath, where the future hunters of the forest discover their place in the world. The hunt when wolves hunt. They do not charge. They calculate. They read the land, the wind, and the herd, finding patterns hidden in chaos. The pack spreads across the snow like synchronized shadows. No commands, no barking orders, only instinct, trust, and experience. A single misstep from a deer, a moment of hesitation. That is all the wolves need. The chase erupts with controlled fury. Paws pound. Breath erupts in white bursts. Muscles stretch in perfect harmony. Wolves do not rely on speed alone. They rely on endurance, rotating positions, saving energy, wearing down their prey with relentless discipline. And when the moment arrives, the takedown is swift. Not brutal, but necessary. A cycle as old as the wilderness itself, the power of loyalty. When the hunt ends, something remarkable happens. The pack gathers, not in chaos, but in order. The pups eat first, the weak second, the strongest last. Here, loyalty is not an idea. It is survival. Members guide wandering pups home, guard the injured during recovery, play, discipline, and support one another with a bond deeper than instinct alone. The beta maintains peace. The sentinels watch for threats, and the alphas lead with responsibility, not fear. No wolf is left behind, because alone, a wolf survives. But together, they thrive. Raising the next generation. Inside the den, the next chapter of the pack's story unfolds. The mother rarely leaves her pups in the early days, nursing and warming them through cold nights. But she is never alone. Adults bring food. Older siblings stand guard. And as the pups grow, the world becomes a classroom. Every tumble teaches balance. Every howl strengthens confidence. Every chase builds the foundation for future hunts. These young wolves are not merely surviving, they are learning the rhythm of the pack, the code of cooperation, the meaning of unity. The winter trials. Winter does not arrive gently. It crushes the land beneath ice and silence. Hunger follows. Prey vanish into deep snow. Storms erase the scent trails that wolves rely on. Yet the pack endures together. They travel in tight formation, sharing warmth and conserving energy. Adults shelter the pups in brutal winds. Each step becomes a test of strength and resolve. Hunts grow longer, success grows rarer. But the wolves do not break, because loyalty carries them through the cold. In the darkest nights, their howls rise like a vow to survive. The call of the wild. The howl of a wolf is more than a sound. It is communication, identity, connection. A howl gathers the pack after long travels, warns rivals to keep their distance, guides lost members home. Each voice is unique, a signature written in sound. A pup's howl is bright and trembling. An elder's is deep, resonant, commanding. When the entire pack raises its voice, the wilderness sings with unity. This is not a cry of fear, but a declaration of loyalty, a reminder that the wild is alive. The human shadow. For thousands of years, wolves roamed the world freely, masters of wilderness, guardians of balance. But the greatest threat they ever faced did not come with claws or fangs. It came from us. As human settlements expanded, fear followed. Stories turned wolves into monsters. Superstition painted them as villains lurking beyond the tree line. And fear has a way of shaping history. Across Europe and North America, wolves were hunted relentlessly. Trapped, poisoned, driven to the edge of extinction, not for what they truly were, but for what people believed them to be. By the early 20th century, entire regions fell silent. No howls, no tracks, only empty mountains where packs once thrived. Yet the wild felt the loss immediately. Without wolves, elk populations exploded. Forests were stripped bare, rivers changed course. An entire ecosystem began to collapse, all because its keystone was gone. But as science grew, so did understanding. People began to see wolves not as threats, but as vital architects of nature. And then came a turning point: reintroduction efforts in places like Yellowstone. The results were astonishing. Wolves reshaped the land. They moved elk herds, allowing trees to regrow. Birds returned. Beavers returned. Even riverbanks stabilized. One predator, reviving an entire world. Today, wolves are slowly returning, still misunderstood by some, but fiercely protected by others. Their future is fragile, but it is brighter than it has been in a century. Because the more we learn, the more we realize that coexistence is not only possible, it is essential. Return of the pack. After decades of absence, the wilderness is beginning to echo again. Tracks appear where none existed for generations. Howls rise where silence once ruled. The wolf is returning. In regions across North America and Europe, packs are slowly re-establishing their ancient roots. Through mountain passes, across frozen tundra, into dense forests where their ancestors once prowled under starlit skies. Their comeback is not accidental. It is the result of conservation laws, protected lands, and communities willing to learn what science has long shown. Wolves do not destroy ecosystems, they repair them. As wolves return, landscapes heal. Elk and deer move with healthier patterns. Vegetation rebounds. Small animals find shelter in regrowing brush. Even rivers, once eroded and unstable, stabilize under the renewed balance of predator and prey. But their return is more than ecological. It is symbolic. It represents our shifting relationship with the wild, from domination to understanding, from fear to respect. Yet challenges remain. Conflicts with livestock, shrinking habitats, and old myths still cast long shadows. The wolf's recovery is a beginning, not a victory. Still, every new pup born in the wilderness is a testament to what's possible when humans choose coexistence over conquest. Every howl is a reminder that nature, when given a chance, can heal itself. The pack is returning. The wild is breathing again. Legacy of the wolf. Long before cities, long before borders, there were wolves. They shaped the rhythms of the wild, guided the movements of herds, and carved balance into every landscape they touched. Across cultures and centuries, wolves have carried meaning far beyond their form. To some, they were symbols of danger. To others, symbols of guidance. But to all, they were creatures of awe. In Native American traditions, the wolf embodies loyalty, courage, and teaching. A guardian spirit. A reminder that strength is found not in isolation, but in unity. In ancient legends across Europe and Asia, wolves walked beside gods, warriors, and hunters. They were seen not as monsters, but as mirrors, reflecting humanity's own struggle between wild instinct and noble purpose. Today, the legacy of the wolf lives on in every story told around campfires, in every conservation effort, in every young pup learning to howl beneath a silver moon. But their greatest legacy is carved into the living world itself. They showed us that ecosystems are not machines, they are families, interconnected, dependent, alive. And perhaps that is the wolf's final lesson, that loyalty is not weakness, but survival, that cooperation is not compromise, but power, that the wild is not something to conquer, but something to belong to. As long as wolves walk the earth, the spirit of wilderness endures. Not just in the forests or the mountains or the snow, but in us. Because the wolf is more than a predator, it is a symbol of balance, resilience, and the unbreakable strength of family. In the end, the story of the wolf is not just about survival, but about connection. From the frozen hunts of winter, to the tender moments inside the den, to the triumphant return across ancient territory, wolves remind us of something we often forget. That strength is shared, that loyalty is powerful, and that no life truly thrives alone. They are guardians of the wild, architects of balance, voices that once shaped the very heartbeat of untouched forests. And now, as their howls rise once more into the night sky, we are given a choice to protect, to understand, to coexist, so that future generations may hear that haunting chorus echo across the wilderness. Because a world with wolves is a world still alive, still wild, still whole. So if you want this incredible story to continue, if you want the legacy of the wolf to endure, then join us. Support conservation, share their story, keep the wild alive. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, so together we can keep exploring the untold wonders of our planet. This is the life of the wolf, the loyalty of the pack,